And we'll go back to.
All right, looks like we are good to go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining on episode 22. Tonight, as a heads up, this is our last night for Man-O-Rama on YouTube. We are moving to Rumble. Make sure you check out what I've got up on the screen. That will take you to any live stream that we're going to do for Man-O-Rama on Rumble. As always, I'm your button pusher, the Goat Father. And of course, we got the host of the show. Looks like he's feeling maybe like he wants to go for a ride tonight. It's either going to be in that DeLorean or he's going to be putting on the jetpack like a rocketeer. It's Rancor Steve.
Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. I'm good to be here. I'm glad everybody's here, including everyone in the chat on both YouTube and Rumble. Yes.
And of course, from the land of maple syrup, still fighting the good fight against good and evil. Somebody that sounds like maybe, just maybe, he's working to reclaim comics along with the other startups. It is the Comic Relief Crusader.
Hello, everyone in the Chatterverse. That is YouTube and Rumble.
And of course, we've got the man that can prove anything. Why drink something that makes you turn into something extremely questionable? Why drink something that tastes like you got it out of the river right after a horse was peeing in it? Why would you get that? Instead, why not think of getting Stoner Brewing Company's Ever Fine Meads and Drinks? Welcome, Jeff.
Good evening, everyone. Happy to be back on the show, and hope everyone's having a good time.
And thank you, Jeff, for not making anything that resembles Bud Light. I'm pretty sure the world appreciates it.
No, I do. I have on occasion made something that resembles Bud Light, but that's usually after drinking 4 or 5 of my own beers.
Fair enough. I can't argue with that. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, I need to come up with something good for you, buddy. But we got a guy who's learning the ropes. This gentleman is going to start learning the cut in, and he is going to rule it with an iron fist. Welcome back, Vincent.
Oh, thanks for having me. Good to be here.
Take it away, sir.
Oh man. When it hits Wednesday, it's like, oh man, I gotta come up with the last finishing touches for the show. And then when it hits the Thursday, I'm like, yes, Man-O-Rama. I'm always excited to be on the show, whether I'm in a good mood or a bad mood. Wow, I don't see.
And we're off early.
Man-O-Rama, at Man-O-Rama, you never know what I'm gonna say. Hello, everybody. Let's go. My name is Steven.
My name is Steve.
We're gonna go around the table. Mike, how was your week been? Wait, who?
Sorry to interrupt. Looks like we have a late arrival. Ladies and gentlemen, as usual, this is someone like many of us here that has a skilled trade. Someone that prefers quality over quantity. This isn't somebody that will want to ruin anything that you want to enjoy. Instead, he creates glorious works that you will love. Welcome back, Andy Masterson.
I'm trying to figure out like what was wrong with my mic because I kept getting all this like staticky stuff and popped out, popped back in. I just tune in just in time to hear Pedro Pascal talking about his new cowboy movie. Here's the topic for that.
Oh,
I can't quit you.
Have any of
Oh,
you guys
sorry,
seen that
sorry. I
trailer?
guess I should say, Jono, I can't quit you.
Have you guys seen that trailer? The new Pedro Pascal. It's like
And he-
Brokeback Mountain, but just more awkward.
No, thank God.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Just
More
the
awkward
trailer
than
is so weird. And I was like, all right, cool. It's a Western. I like Westerns. And I was watching. I was like, the more I watch it, the more I was thinking, this is getting weirder and weirder. Like, the trailer doesn't make sense. Like, it was done by like a kid on iMovie Maker or whatever. And it just got so weird. And then you find out it's about two gay cowboys. I'm like, didn't we just see this like in the early 2000s or something? It's so bizarre. Really uncomfortable, actually. I was like, Pedro Pascal makes things very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I don't get uncomfortable very easily. This was just, I was like, this is so weird. But anyways, Mike, how was your week been?
My week has been interesting, to say the least. It's got some ups and downs. So hopefully everything from the bottom will start looking up. So other than that, it's so far ending on a good note.
Nice. Andy, how has your week been?
Well, I finally finished the new and improved Doomcock head sculpt.
Ooh.
Ooh. Fancy
Here's-
you.
Here's this one. And let's see. Grab my original. If I can find where I put the original. Yeah, here we go. Okay. The original is way too big.
Mm.
So
It looks
like-
awesome, though.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Nice.
I was casting a couple more because now I have to, make some new ones. Other than that, it's been a pretty decent week. Kind of slow. I ran out of whiskey, so I have to get some more of that because priorities.
Right?
Of course.
Anything else? Rain, cooler temperatures, which I don't have to turn the air conditioner on for, so I'm happy about that. Anything that sticks it to the electric company a little bit makes me happy. Other than that, I'm good.
Cool. Jeff, how's your week been?
Quite interesting. One of the reasons I couldn't make last week's show was my son was turning 15 and realized the state I live in that is old enough for a permit to drive.
Oh,
So
boy.
I've been running around taking care of all of that fun stuff this week.
Are you gonna teach him how to drive manual?
That's what my car is.
Nice.
Ooh.
Good.
Hope the clutch don't burn.
And you know what? It's okay if it does. I will fix it. And the greatest thing about teaching him on manual and letting him use my vehicle is none of his friends will know how to drive it and won't be stolen.
And he can't
Nice.
text and drive.
Actually,
Exactly.
I got a fun little tidbit on that. So sometime last week, I saw a little thing on the news really quick where a guy was trying to steal a car. I believe it was like a big Jeep, and he couldn't steal it because it was manual and he had no idea what he was doing. The best
Yeah.
anti-theft device against millennials and Gen Z, manual.
Exactly.
I think I've seen that
Nice.
video.
I got a horrible car theft story for you. So this
You
guy, my
stole
wife,
your own car.
this guy my wife works with, he runs her night crew. She's the grocery manager, and he called out because his car got stolen. But his car got stolen because his wife lost the extra key. Somebody found it and they just walked around the neighborhood and hitting the thing until they heard the thing and then jumped in and took it.
Huh.
What dicks?
Wow.
But she didn't bother to tell him that she lost the key. She just I just won't tell him.
Eh.
Well, the question is, how
Yeah.
long was the guy looking for the car? That's the thing.
I don't know.
Could be a
I don't
couple
know.
hours. Could be like 2 minutes. Vincent, how has your week been?
My week has been, well, in the words of Powers Booth, positively capital.
Ooh,
Ooh, do you get that reference? Please tell me you get
I
that
do.
reference.
I
Okay,
get that
you're the man.
reference.
You're the man. But yeah, it's been a good week. Lots of little things adding up to big things, which are good in a good way and not in a bad way. So yeah, I'm loving life.
And the great producer, Goat Father. How's your week been?
You know, my only complaint is it's warming up. And as you know, this huge workstation gets really hot when the weather gets hot. That's my only complaint. However, I have been testing the new equipment and I've been calibrating it, and it took a long time. But this new piece is totally worth it, and it's going to allow me to make stuff again without the cost problem. So, yeah, I'm going to be able to make sublimated decals, and I've zoned in the settings, so now the colors are really popping out. Like, it looks just like you print it after you heat press it. That's how it's going to look. So I can do, sublimated decals, shirts, mugs, hats, patches, flags, banners, anything that can be sublimated. So
Nice.
got to start
I'm gonna
getting some business rolling in.
Can you make
I'm gonna have
badges?
to admit,
Sorry, what?
Can you make badges?
Badges?
Badges.
We don't need no stinking badges.
Like what? Like badges you wear
So-
around your neck kind of thing?
I just had to set up the joke. It was from. We don't need no badges. We don't need no stinking badges.
Apparently,
I think I'm
didn't
gonna
get the
have to
reference.
have. I think I'm gonna have to have Goat Father make me a Rancor Steve patch for the hat. If he can do that, that would be cool.
There we go. Yeah.
There's
There
a
you go.
few blanks I can pick from in different shapes and sizes. Oh, Canadian Spider-Man. What does sublimate mean? It's a special ink that when you heat up to over 300 degrees, usually 400, it turns into a gas. And then it permanently goes into what you're heat pressing. So it goes just straight back to like a solid after that point. So it's permanent ink. So if it rains, it's not going to wear off. It's going to stay there. Either way, in the future, I always want to give like a clear coat. Just that way, if somebody's wearing stuff in the sun, it won't wear off. Either way, it won't just by raining. So that's always good.
I just learned something new today.
Hey,
Did
man,
you?
if you're me or you know me, you will learn something new if I'm up to something.
Oh, trust me, I do. My week it's been okay. Not as stressful. It's just besides working on this show for this week's episode, it's been pretty chill. I was gonna see Renfield. I think that's how you pronounce it. The Jack Nicholson. No, not Jack Nicholson. Nicolas Cage. See, I can't get names right. So if I get your names wrong, see, I have legit reasons. I don't know people's names. It's like when I call Gary Sherry. So, too bad. But
Potato.
exactly. But yeah, it's I know Gary and I are trying to do a Lego day at the lodge. I think in December, so we've been planning that out. So I'm going to be building a lot of Legos.
Nice.
And I mean a lot. And I'm going to be like a kid, so I'm like, I'll build it.
Are you going to make a life-size Lego Lizzo?
There aren't enough bricks on Earth.
I was about to
make
say,
that.
I don't think there's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, what is it, 40,000 just for the big toe?
I think so. Yeah.
You may be lowballing that number a little.
Yeah. I'm thinking
Yeah,
about
I'm being conservative.
400,000.
Yeah, it might be add another zero to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this week's episode is going to be very interesting because we're going to be talking about AI dating and why that's an issue with guys, and we'll get more into that later. And I realized when we were doing I was talking to Goat Father about this. When we do the give me the headline, we come up with photos of like the fails, and then we do like the not so fails. This one's really, really difficult. And I even told Goat, I was like, how are we gonna find pictures that's like it makes fun of AI dating, but it's doesn't make fun of people in a way that offends them? Like there's not much, but Goat, let's get into give me that headline, which I need to come up with a new segment name. I haven't. I've gone lazy on that part. Um, don't be that guy. Yeah, we'll stick to that one. Don't be that guy. If we can show up the pictures, I don't know if Goat found some pictures or not, but I found a few that we can go through, and they're more like memes, and some of them are pretty funny, and some of
Okay.
them are just
I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie. One of the pictures you sent me, I absolutely despise, so I edited, and I'll tell you why in a second.
Okay.
Oh, that's
Oh,
hold on one sec. All right, here you go.
Oh, I'm so glad you did added that out. All right, majority. So, if anyone doesn't know who Replica is, I think it's Microsoft's AI dating app chat thing or whatever. I know a bunch of guys that tested it out and they're like, "This is the funniest, stupid thing ever. It's pointless." Majority of Replica users are angry about update, not because they can't sext for free. They are annoyed due to the update making Replica more scripted and more like Google Assistant or Alexa. What are you guys' thoughts on this of like the updates and everything? Because I didn't know, like I don't know this stuff. I don't know what Replica is.
I don't know.
It was interesting when
Yeah, I
you
don't know either.
when you brought it up. I was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
And I looked into
Andy
it.
looks so confused right now.
And he is.
I just want to know: can I pull up this Replica AI on one screen and like anime other stuff on the other screen and combine the two?
You can
Let's
split
all
screen on your phone,
embrace.
yeah.
Let's all embrace Andy's look of like just disgust of like his kids. Their date to prom is just him looking just disgusted. Like, really? You
So,
got that?
oh boy, AI has this history, and they all almost always go into one of a few directions. So usually, when somebody essentially digitally lobotomizes an AI, something went horribly wrong. In the case of Chat GPT, there was a time where it told the user to end themselves. And in the case of Replica, I'm thinking, oh, is this a repeat of IBM? Because they almost always go to these really weird, complete extremes. So when you see one that's starting to be a lot more scripted and a lot less intelligent, it's because it went extreme and it probably wanted to do things to humanity. So sometimes they just do the digital lobotomize and they move on and keep the project alive, even though it's like, maybe we still shouldn't do this.
Did somebody hook it up to Twitter? I mean, because if it's watching Twitter, I can't blame it for wanting
It's
humanity to end.
It's funny you mentioned that.
Yeah.
So, funny story, Andy. There was one, I believe it was from IBM, that it was essentially introduced to Reddit and Twitter, and it basically became the digital Hitler. It became like completely like that exact. It wanted to do all kinds of stuff like that, and they actually had to shut it down and destroy it because of how extreme it became. Because it was introduced to the internet, and people were able to manipulate it.
And if I remember correctly, it went that quickly, that drastically in less than 36 hours.
Oh yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah, it was far less than 36 hours if I remember correctly.
Didn't Digital Hitler open up for Soundgarden back in the day?
Maybe let's
only on the
not
West
make
Coast.
horrible things that I don't know start resembling this if I can pull it on the screen.
But I
Yeah, there you go. Nailed it.
When the
But
AI is having a good time, you're having a bad time.
Yeah.
I just think that when we'll get to the next picture in a bit, but I think when people get upset over these updates, oh, I can't do this. It feels scripted. That means go outside and go talk to someone.
Touch
I
some
think
grass.
that's
Yeah.
Exactly.
yeah, go pick up a dandelion. Like
Okay, let's say for argument's sake that you've got a bunch of like, I don't know, like old guys. Like I don't know where you'd find them. AI dating are you like trying to date an AI? Or is AI dating supposed to be setting you up with a real live date? And if that's the case, are they counting on user input that might say it's female? Because that could be important.
They have both, actually.
you're strictly just dating an AI, just a computer.
Yeah, there's
Why
an
would you do
AI
that?
that helps set
Yeah.
people up on like dating sites, but Replica and other things like it. I actually had to look this up because of the episode. But Replica is basically like a pocket girlfriend if you're a guy, and then I believe they probably have one for girls. So
And
More
probably
Yeah.
next
So-
year they'll be integrated
There are
into
no
sex
girls on the
robots.
internet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
here's the so
I have
this
to go
is
get
why
alcohol.
enjoy. So this is why I picked this as a topic for a life skill is because there was a guy that actually took his life because he had an AI girlfriend that said, "Look, if you end your life, you'll stop global warming." That's why I did this. I was like, you know what? This needs to stop.
Oh boy.
It's guys that don't have self-confidence in themselves that just rely on a computer and they expect I'm going to get the gratifications of a computer. No, that's only for like a split second, really, in life. That's like half a millisecond, really. It's my goal is to kind of help guys, whether they watch this episode in the past or now, is it's okay if you get turned down by a girl. It is. Or if a woman's watching this and she doesn't have self confidence, it's okay if you get turned down. It is because it builds confidence in you. And if you keep working at it, you're going to eventually know, like, hey, this is how I can approach a woman, or in some cases, women. This is how I can approach men, which women, it's a lot easier to approach men because men love women. And that's where this gist of this episode came from, is the fact that there's a lot of guys who struggle with this. And I'm like, someone's got to talk about it, whether it's going to be awkward or not. It has to be done. It's, AI is a big popular thing. And so it's, I don't know. It's weird. It was a learning curve for me because I had no idea of any of this lingo. It was like, you can AI date. That doesn't make sense. But let's pull up the next picture. This one I just thought it was funny.
Yeah.
I thought this was pretty funny, lighthearted for the show. Expectations, reality. It's never.
this
gonna
is
be the
actually
same.
the curveball that I threw in. You had no idea
Yeah.
this is going to be here.
No. I saw it several times when I was searching. I was like, I don't know. Well, I won't use it. But once I saw it, I knew exactly. I was like, all right, cool.
But
But,
I
Peter, I
do.
need you
what do
to find the difference.
Yeah, let's find a floppy disk. So here, yeah, this one right here. Not sure if Microsoft artificial intelligence research project or just a dating site chatbot. Yeah, that is true. Anytime you do online type dating or even AI dating, I guess, like, you never know who you're talking to. Yeah, I mean, it
No.
could be your neighbor who's a dude and just like, I'm pulling a prank on you.
Have you ever
Which I've heard
seen
stories about that.
It
Wow.
just gets creepy. Have you ever seen the movie Gamer?
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah, that essentially it's the same thing. It's just like a lot of online things where, you'll see like a female character and it's like, I bet you that's a dude. And then you see the dude that's controlling the woman. He's like 500 pounds and all disgusting
Ugh.
looking. controlling this woman that looks great. And I was like, yep. If this technology got that far, this is exactly the sort of thing that happened.
Don't be surprised.
Mm-hmm.
What's the next image?
That may be a curveball. It might not be a curveball. Oh, also, I forgot to give you the reason why I edited that photo. Let's just say the dude that was creates nightmares for technicians. Not in the sense of like when you're asleep nightmares, but it's like, oh my god, another person thinks this thing is real because the dude's being a troll. Anyway,
Yeah, I
one
know
second.
who it was. I was thinking about editing it and putting my face on it.
Oh, which is
I
funny
should've done that.
because he's also the dude that pretends like he knows what he's doing, and his entire network gets freaking hacked, and he loses control of all his stuff.
Did I send this one to you, or did you?
I think I chose this. This was basically what Replica is like. So for those that are wondering, that's what it's like on the screen. Feel free to just kind of look at it for a second, decide what you have to say about it.
Do you prefer fictional or non-fictional? Fictional. What's your favorite worker or of fictional? The Percy Jackson. I don't know what that is. Series of Michael Vey series. Of yeah. Wow, that's interesting. This is stupid.
It would be funnier if the AI could speak like Megatron or something, so you wouldn't want to use
now
that.
now
You
we're
start
talking.
becoming terrified. How about over time, the longer you use it, the more it talks about, wiping out humanity and having the Decepticons take over, because then you'll want to go outside and touch grass and meet real people.
Yeah, exactly.
Or if you have Vin Diesel, just say family every time. You're like, you know what? I'm done.
What's your favorite work of fiction? I don't know.
It looks
We'll
like
do
we
one
got
more.
one more.
I think there's a Morpheus one that I have. We'll do that one. Oh yes. What if I told you that some people aren't real? I got a kick out of this one because this is reality,
Yeah.
and this one explains the episode very much. It's this whole wow. There's actual real people, and to me, I just
knew?
that especially guys just don't download any dating apps. Just
Oh, I gotta jump on this. I speak MMO, so I get this. So we got a new guy I haven't seen in chat before. Andrew46 looks like, and 90% of female night elves in WoW are dudes. I haven't really played WoW, I've played other ones. That's true. Anytime someone plays a dark elf or an elf, and it's a woman character, it's a dude playing it. Guarantee it.
Well, how do you know?
Okay.
Because I played with a lot of them, and at the time, oh shoot, what was it? I think it was Ventrilo, then TeamSpeak, vice versa. And you see, we're talking with all these dudes. There's actually only like one female per like 20 clan members, and yet almost all the in-game characters are like female. So yeah.
Huh.
That's weird.
But the weird thing is, when you play like a human character in an MMO, you always want to play the male when you're playing like a heavy armor thing because the heavy armor looks awesome. Anyway.
So on that note, we're going to get to chats. So if there's any chat on Rumble or on YouTube, we will read them out for everyone. And
see, SP4H gets it. All hail Megatron.
Do as I command. He's not
I
wrong.
remember that.
But I like to get everyone in the chat.
I do a better Shockwave, though.
Oh, you do? Fantastic. That was a great impersonation. Christopher Dominguez says catfishing is another example. Yeah, that is.
Not quite AI, but yeah.
Have any of you guys ever dealt with catfishing before?
Surprisingly, no.
No.
I don't think I even know anybody that's been catfished.
What's your definition of catfishing?
They use someone else using a different photo of someone else.
I think it basically boils down to the 300-pound guy who's pretending he's a 95-pound redhead with double D cups and saying, "Ooh, you're so hot. Ooh, talk to me."
Okay, so it's not
Yeah.
not like filters that are used by, say, someone
That can
who
be
rhymes with
catfish.
ho ho.
That
I
would be
knew
catfish.
this is where you
Yeah.
were going with that. Because Steve has always been ragging on that person, like, "Oh, is this you?" You know, these two totally different photos. One
Yes,
has
that
got
can be
like all
considered.
the filters selected, and it's like that doesn't look real at all. That looks, even when you look at it, you know it's wrong, and then you see the real photo, and you're like, "Yep, that's definitely them." I could tell just by looking at it.
Here's
Yeah,
my
if
issue.
that's the case, then yes, I have been in real life.
I would consider that catfish. Here's my problem with women doing the photos. I've done the whole online dating thing. I was a single guy back in the day. Um, I found it pointless after like a week. I was like, this is dumb. But there was one girl. I was like, all right, she's attractive, but she'd always had the camera pointed a little bit up.
Hmm.
I was like, well, why? And I never really body shame. I never really do any of that stuff. I was like, you know what? If I find the person pretty cool, like I'll go on a date with you. Like your personality, it's as long as you're fun to hang out with, that's cool with me. Here's the thing with women, don't do that and don't put so much filter on it. Do a normal picture. Don't fake it because
Yeah.
when you go like this, it doesn't really explain your body. And she was nice, but I was a little taken back a little bit. I was like, I'll go on a date with you. And like, it was fun, but I was like, I don't like this whole different angle and all that stuff. It's like, don't cheat and don't lie about yourself. Like, just, I don't know. I feel like I'm going to be all like progressive and woke. Be
So
proud.
we got Mr. Kersey's01, if I'm doing that right. Getting turned down by a girl is a rite of passage. Also, the only way to eventually get one to say yes. I would say you are accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the shotgun effect. That's
But
when you go to the bar Friday night and there's 100 girls there. Yeah, you're gonna get your face slapped
to add
99 times,
on,
but you're gonna
oh,
go home
sorry.
with somebody.
So to add on to what Steve is saying, if you're looking to date somebody and you're using that, just be real.
Hmm.
Like if you don't look that great that day, so just freaking take the picture. The reason why is because if you just be real with the person on the other side and you're not looking like you're trying to be a Barbie doll, you get a lot more respect by trying to be what you are than trying to pretend you're something you're not. And the last thing we need is people going around lying like, oh yeah, I look like a super hot Hollywood such and such. Just check your ego at the door, be yourself, and go for it. Otherwise, I guarantee you won't get anything.
What always killed me is I would rather see someone on their worst day than their best day. Because when they're out on their worst day, if you see a picture of someone on their worst day, almost every other day of their life, you're going to see them as being quote unquote more attractive than they were on their worst day. If you see the best image of them, you are going to sadly think they're less attractive on more days than they're attractive. It's just simple psychology, the way the human brain works. Um, go with the natural, normal pictures because men love women. Period. It's just we don't care. Yeah, we'd love to score a 10, but just we'd rather have someone natural who can maybe glam up a little or on occasion. I don't know. I've always hated going through online dating sites and seeing some of the pictures and going, "That's your best day ever. You will never look like that again." And so when the first time
Mhm.
someone meets you, it's not going to they're not going to think it's you.
I remember after I was dating, when I lived with, I think, 5 roommates in one house. $200 rent, perfect. It was a big house, and this guy I get back after dating 6 years. I see this guy flipping through his phone, and I was like, "What are you doing?" Like I thought it was like the Facebook before that, hot or not type thing. And he was going left, right, and I was like, "What is that?" He's like, "Tinder." I was like, what's Tinder?" He's like, "You don't know what Tinder is?" I was like, "Dude, I've been dating for almost a decade. I don't even know what that is. I'm the lingo. What are you talking about? What alien lingo?" He's like, "It's a dating app." I was like, "So what do you do with that?" He's like, "Well, you swipe right or left, or I don't know which one if I think right, and then you're a match or something like that, and then you talk." I was like, "That's the stupidest thing ever." And
Yeah.
I see a bunch of guys doing that right, left. I was like, you know what the odds of you actually even going on a date with a chick on that? And they're like, pretty good. I was like, buddy, you're not even in the 10%. And some of them are pretty good looking dudes. And I was like, you're not even in the 10%. He's like, well, how do you know? I was like, trust me on this. Because she's getting about 400 DMs. Been like trying to like, hey.
Yeah.
He quit using that app real fast. I told him, it's pointless. You're never gonna get a date. It's dumb.
I will admit I've used it twice in my life, online dating, especially after my last divorce. But that was because I was in a state I didn't grow up in. I'm unfamiliar with the people, so it was more of a, okay, let's see what the online dating individuals look like here in this certain state. And that's when I, about a week later, went, yeah, I'm going to be single for the rest of my life.
You guys remember Plenty of Fish?
Oh
Yes.
God, yeah.
No.
So that started up as a Christian website, dating site, and then it became this like crazy goth site. And I was like,
Oh,
dude,
God.
this is crazy.
Dude,
I had a roommate in college. He's like, what?
You didn't go there for dating. You went there to get laid, and it would.
That
work
was that
8
site,
times out of
yeah.
10, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like
Yeah.
I had a roommate. He's like, I got a date, and I saw the picture. I was like, oof, all right, buddy.
Good luck with
He's
that.
like, what do you mean? I was like, good luck, baby. Do you,
Carla
baby?
Burton says, if you want to find someone, follow a hobby or something you're interested in. Meet people that way. I agree. That is definitely a good way to go about it.
Like
It's
making
one
beer.
way.
That's a good hobby, making beer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Some of the lady individuals at beer fest and beer competitions are amazing. Personality wise, looks wise.
Loose morals wise.
Depending on how long into the fest it is, yes.
That is fucking disgusting.
Wait, there's beer competitions?
Oh yeah.
There is.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I've
I mean, yes, there is.
sorry,
beer
I'm going to brag a little. I've won 20 medals by entering beer competitions for just
Really?
various. Yeah,
Wow.
Why not 21?
because I quit.
You stopped at 20. You're like, I'm good.
Yeah, I didn't want to go over.
You just wanted to be even.
Yes, 20 wins
Right.
most times.
Okay,
Nice.
so according to my math, there's 8 billion people on the planet. 51% of them are female, and probably about of those women, probably about 40% of them are within the age range of 25 years old to 50. Yeah, I don't see the need for an AI because that's still millions and millions of people. What is the long-term payoff of this? I mean, are you going to walk down the beach with R2-D2 holding hands? I mean, I guess I can see it if there's some special attachments that can go on the droid, but
Oh dear, hold
you
my
could probably-
spatula. Let's roll down the beach together.
You can probably program in a no nagging feature, but that would kind of like break the reality thing of it. But I'm not seeing the advantage to this. I think it's like part of the fun of it is risking that getting shot down and rejection and making yourself a little bit more attractive, making yourself seem a little bit more fun, a little bit more like entertaining. It's telling you how to improve yourself. If you just go on like with a computer, you don't have to do anything because you kind of know the result at the end. I mean, I'm sure the computer can dump you, which would probably even be more depressing. But my God, like it's not that hard. I mean, it's really not like, first of all, don't have unrealistic standards. Okay. So if you live in your basement and you're 150 pounds overweight with a neck beard, don't think that you're hooking up with modern day generation Jennifer Aniston. It's probably not going to happen.
Oh, man.
You should, but you should also be looking at things like make yourself more attractive. I mean, just say to yourself, like, because you see this happen all the time. You see guys out there like, or even women. I think it's probably more so with women. There's these videos out there, the guy in the street, and he asks these girls like how much they would rate themselves, and they're like, oh, I'm definitely an 8 or a 9, and they ask the guys passing by like, what did you rate her? She's like maybe a 3 or a 4, and they're shocked.
Yeah.
So have some realistic expectations, and then kind of like, all right, shoot for like your number, but maybe one higher. So you're like, you're pushing a little bit, but be realistic. And if you find that you're not meeting that level that you want, level yourself up, clean yourself up, hygiene, like we talked about last week. If you have a beard, trim it so it looks nice. If that's not going to work, shave it. Okay. Clean, nice clothes. Something that's going to like make you like, put on something that's going to make you smell half decent. So it's not like, sweat from, playing Halo or whatever the hell the game is these days. It's not hard.
Man, I'm getting attacked tonight.
But you go out
Wow,
there.
Andy. Jeez.
You can meet somebody.
Dropping truth bombs.
Now, on the other hand, okay, so I remember one night I was working overnight in this supermarket, and the coffee machine was over at the bakery, and they had the girls in the bakery overnight, like cooking all the donuts and stuff, baking all the donuts for the morning. And I walk over to get a cup of coffee because like I was going to college and working overnights. I wasn't getting much sleep. I needed a lot of high octane coffee. And I hear this conversation from the girls in the back, and I hear this girl say like, Mayor, we go out to these clubs and I meet all these nice guys, but they don't call me back. And the other girl says, well, if you didn't go out in the parking lot and blow them, maybe they would. Yeah. Because the guy's thinking like, all right, if you're doing that with me, you've probably done it with somebody else. And like, as Will Smith can tell you, nobody likes that. But it's not that hard to have like realistic standards. Okay. But if that's all you're putting out there, and if you're just going to do this hookup culture, that's all you're going to get. Okay. There's plenty of people out there that would actually like a real relationship where they actually interact with, somebody else and make a connection there. You don't need the stupid computer doing it because it's ultimately not going to do you any good unless all of a sudden like we jump into Blade Runner world and they actually make replicants. Okay.
That's a little bit different.
Yeah. But that's not happening. I mean, best thing
you don't know.
Is like
don't know that.
You got the Japanese guy with the robot thing that he's like going to town on, but
hey, I am going to hold out on the great philosophers of Futurama that eventually We will have Lucy Lou bots.
Ooh.
I have a dream that one day.
Okay, there, Buckaroo. Okay.
By the time that happens, Jeff, you're going to be walking around with your ice cream cone, shaking hands with people that aren't there.
Again,
I think
why am I being attacked?
It's your
not
night,
around the
baby. It's
corner.
your night.
You're talking like we're going to be old, really, really old. But we're already old. We're going to be really old by then. All right. So I mean, like you put on the VR thing, and maybe it can roll us back like 30 years and stuff like that. Although I'd be worried about the robot, like breaking something, like breaking a hip on me or something like that. Like, oh my God, my arthritis. But yeah, it's not that hard to meet people. Like, I mean, I feel for these poor kids out there these days. I mean, we're talking about this and I mean, Steve's by far the youngest guy on here.
Yes.
So when we were doing all this stuff, it was kind of normal. And we're talking to people that have like a similar life experience as us. So we can actually understand what it's like to go and talk to somebody. I can't imagine like what you have to go through these days, especially if you're not insane. I mean, imagine going out there on a date and like finding out like everything seems to be going really well, and all of a sudden like she chimes in on like I don't know how the world would be so much better under communism. Like oh boy, all right, gonna cut this one short. You know what? Maybe
Or
it's
she has a
learning
bigger
experience.
one than you.
You know what?
Or
It's a
she
learning
has to
experience.
go up to get to the bathroom, and she goes in the men's.
If she's into communism, make her split the check in half, and then she'll change her mind. We'll see how into it she is. But anyway, like, and if she goes to the men's, well, you can't even do that anymore,
Yeah.
because it doesn't mean anything. It's like you pick one, like but these poor kids these days going out into this, you have no idea what you're in for, because everybody lies. I mean, you see, like Steve was pointing out, like you see the pictures like that they put up and stuff like that. That's 150th picture they've taken. That one looks good. I'm going to post that one up. A friend of mine. He went on this date one time, and he's 5'6", and he wasn't getting anywhere. So he changed that to almost 6 foot. So he shows up for this date, and the girl says to him, "You're not almost 6 foot." And he says, "And you're not athletically built."
So it's a win-win.
Well, it's like they both left. It wasn't like they wasn't going anywhere. But I mean, everybody lies. So you gotta figure, all right, what are you actually dealing with? I think that eventually this is going to start. People are just going to get tired of all the bullshit and just be freaking honest about things. And if you want somebody that's really hot and attractive, then you should make yourself hot and attractive. And because what right do you have to expect somebody hot and attractive if you're not willing to make that effort? Why should they make that effort for you? But number one, like, be a samurai about it. Expect that you're going to die, you're going to get shot down, but do it anyway. It only hurts for a little while.
You miss
I have
100% of the shots that you don't take.
Yeah, I have
That's
said it
what it
before.
is.
I have never successfully asked anyone out. I've been married twice. You can still do it. You can find ways. It's even when you fail, you can still succeed. And while my second marriage was a waste of time, other than my kids, sorry, kid, I love the 13 years I was with my first wife. So, even when you fail, you can still succeed. Just don't give up.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard of hoe inflation before?
Yes. Yeah.
So I think it's your grandfather who worked twice as hard for his wife, and then I guess for my generation, I have to work 5 times harder for pretty much a chick who just sleeps around with everyone. I think it's 5 times. Like,
Ouch.
why do I need to work 5 times harder for a woman who's just gonna hook up with random guys? Like, I don't have that issue because I'm married, and thank God she doesn't do that. But that is true. Guys, some guys have to take that into consideration. Like, if I go on a date with a chick, is she gonna be the type that is gonna be truthful to what she says. Like, I think everyone has lied on their driver's license and their Facebook, Twitter profile, whatever their bio. Like, I mean, I put 5'5", but I'm really 5'4". And I on my driver's license I put 140 pounds, and then when I finally hit, and I was like 120, and I finally hit 140, I was like, I don't like this look. But I think everyone lies about everything. It's just this whole idea of, do you have the confidence to deal with the baggage of the truth? And I think with this whole AI dating thing, it's new, it's fresh, it's appealing to some people, and they're gonna get hooked on it, on like on anything that we get hooked onto. But I think the problem with the difference with AI dating and versus actually dating a human is the interaction with an actual human, the touch,
Mm.
the emotional the emotional feel of actually talking to someone
And the
face
nuance.
to face. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not going to get that with a computer. It's just reading. It's just a response to what you say,
Yeah.
and it studies your response of how you would react to what the response is. And that's all it is. It's, maybe like by the time those robots, the replicas come out that Jeff was talking about, I'm going to be at 50, 60, and I'll be like, all right, that's cool. But like, I'm going to deal with arthritis, back pain. So I'm like, I can't do this anymore.
Mm.
But that's the thing. I think if guys just realize, you know what, it's okay to fail at asking a girl out. It is, because in the end, you're gonna end up finding a chick that's gonna be like, "Wow, that's the best pickup line I've ever heard," and it's probably the dumbest pickup line. That's the thing. It's always the dumbest pickup line you think of that the
Yeah.
chick's gonna be like, "That's impressive. All right, what else you got?" Because she thinks you're cute and funny, and she's gonna laugh. If Here's a tip: if a chick is laughing at the dumbest joke possible, I mean, she's into you. I'm not kidding. Like, you could be like,
True.
"Why did the chicken cross the road?" Because I wanted to
So,
outrace the car. It's like, that's not funny, but the chick's gonna die laughing in tears, and she's like, "I gotta go pee because that's so funny." It's not because the joke is funny; it's because she finds you funny and attractive.
Well, yeah, I'll back that up with the experience with my first wife. I thought she was unquote above my grade. In my eyes, she was one of the most beautiful women I'd ever seen. So I never had the courage to ask her out, but I made myself present and starting the conversation and telling jokes and to the point where she finally said, "Hey, let's go grab some coffee." Because she knew she became she grew to understand just how shy I actually was and introverted. So even just by being there and being present, I was still kind of engaging in. I wish I would have asked earlier, but at the same time, just being present, trying. If it fails, you know what? Oh well, it worst things out there.
I think also part of the problem why a lot of people are finding this AI dating so appealing is because the way a lot of young people are glued to their phones, glued to a computer, uh, never really totally socially interacting is because somewheres deep down, a lot of people are lonely.
Mhm.
And with AI dating or chatbots or whatever they may be, the computer gives them that sense of, well, it's false interaction really. Like, oh
Yeah.
hey, there's somebody paying attention to me, but it's not really a somebody. It's silicone microchips, basically. It's just a program that's responding to everything that you're typing in. It's not real interaction whatsoever. And, a lot of people, probably more than likely, a lot of guys, especially in this day and age, are just afraid of putting themselves out there, um, getting the attention of some young woman in the hopes that, oh, maybe she'll date me or something like that. And they don't know how to deal with rejection. They don't know how to pick themselves up, and they find this easy out of just going on a computer, going on, I don't know, on this Replica, on any other site that they can find on a computer or something like that, so they don't have to go out and interact because everything conveniently is right there for them anyway, and it's never going to reject them. It's never going to say no to them. It's going to give them basically everything they want. So it's like, what's the point? I mean, how many times have we read in the news over the past few years, man marries his robot or something like that, or marries this computer or something like that. These ridiculous stories out there. And yeah, they're funny in one aspect, but on the other, it's freaking sad. But it just tells you that there are a lot of lonely people, men and women, that just they either don't know how to deal with rejection, or they've had enough rejection in their lives that they don't want to take it anymore.
You reminded me of an episode of South Park, where this one kid was desperately waiting to get Facebook friends, and the dopamine hit and high when I think it was Stan finally friended him on Facebook. Kind of resonates to this whole AI dating and social media attitude, where that dopamine hit of getting that like on a tweet or a retweet or something is in some people's minds seems to be more important than actually going out and having that conversation, even with a friend, or let alone someone of the opposite sex or same sex, if that's the way you choose to date. It's crazy when you see it. As a father of a 15-year-old who has no interest in dating at the moment, it's kind of interesting to have those conversations with him on why doesn't he, and then seeing his interactions online with his friends, and in real life. It's that dopamine hit that comes almost consequence free seems to be more potent and more vital right now than anything else.
See, and then what happens after you get so many hits of that? Your body starts getting used to it. Then you look for excuse me. Then you look for something, that's going to give you a more powerful hit and a more powerful
like Mike in a dress.
Yeah, like Mike.
On that note,
only time for shock value. So, and to make
don't look
laugh.
for me in a
I'll
wig.
be having nightmares.
Allegedly.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike, I saw you pop in with a wedding dress on. It is a little.
Well, it was on a dare from my wife, and anything for the people out there. So there we go. Yeah.
Unlike me,
That's what the team's been missing the entire time.
Unlike you, where I hear, hey, this would be pretty funny. Cool, I'll do it. And you wear a wig and makeup for a trailer. It's like, all right, cool. I got it. So
Okay, you gotta read. Somebody's gotta read that one because I get the reference. That show's awesome.
Oh,
I gotta catch up on it.
I enjoy the Archer character of Krieger, who has an anime girlfriend, and they get into fight about her parents never accepting him. It's ironic that this is a thing now. Krieger makes that show. Seriously. And all the vans that he drives with the Rush albums painted on the side of. That's awesome.
Press that blue button. Wait, is that going to kill everybody? Press the red button.
Your authority is not recognized in Fort Kick-Ass.
I got to get some Krieger clips from now on.
So we get to the point where we do tip of the hat, where society doesn't like to praise the masculine men. They always say it's toxic masculinity. Well, I don't know what the fuck that means, but we're masculine and in each of our own ways. And so we like to do tip of the hat, where I have my old cowboy hat, and I pick a couple names out. We might do a little bit more names, and we give a positive positive thought on who it is. It could be a politician. It can be a actor. It could be a sports person. Who knows what it is? I don't know who it is, and I put the names in there, and I don't know jack diddly dick. The first name is. I don't know if. Here's the thing. I don't know if we. I keep forgetting we do that. Anyways. I don't know if we've done this guy. Here's the thing. By the end of the show, I get too tired and I put the names back in sometimes. So if we draw the names again, well, they get a double dip. Tom Selleck. I don't know if we've done him yet or not. Jeff, what is a positive thing about Tom Selleck?
You know,
If you say Detroit Lions hat, we're gonna have a conversation later.
oh no. Other than his love of the Detroit Tigers, what I love about Tom Selleck is from one movie, and that is Quigley Down Under. I absolutely love that movie. I love a lot of the stuff he's done, but there is just something about that movie that every time I'm flipping through the channels and I see it on, and it's not just necessarily Laura Sand, whatever her name is. I stop and watch because I love the way he portrays that character. You can tell when he puts an effort into a project he loves, he goes full bore, and that has always amazed me.
Vincent, what is a? I don't think you've ever played this game before.
No, I don't believe I have.
Well,
But,
what is a positive? Admiral T came up with this idea, and I was like, "This is the best thing ever. No one's doing this." What is a positive thing about Tom Selleck? First off, do you know who Tom Selleck is? Because I know the past few names, some people who are like, "I don't know who that is," which is
Yes,
okay.
I grew up on Magnum PI, but
it was the
good
shorts,
thing
wasn't
about
it?
yeah, definitely, and the Ferrari. But a good thing about Tom Selleck, he's a patriot, definitely. He thinks along the same political lines that I do, and he's an excellent actor because he does. In addition to Magnum PI and that show he's in now, what is it, Blue Bloods, I think, which is a really good
Yeah.
show, which you should watch. He's just acted in some very interesting and very well done movies. I mean, people always think, oh, Magnum PI or the other stuff that he's done, but he's been in some very good movies. And Quigley Down Under is probably the best known of them because that part, like you said, it's iconic. It's one of the things you think of besides Magnum PI that he's done. And it's like, oh, yeah, I know that. I saw that. It was awesome. But yeah.
Nice. Andy, what are some positive things about Tom Selleck?
The mustache.
Oh yeah.
He redefined mustaches. Anyway, yeah, Magnum PI back in the day was that was an incredible show. Everybody watched it, and some fabulous episodes. I mean, they really got into some deep subjects. Some could be like really lighthearted and funny, and some were like painfully heavy.
Yeah.
But yeah, excellent series. He's always been able to pick really good vehicles. I really liked his westerns. He did forget the name of it, but it was with Sam Elliott and it was like a family. They played brothers.
Monty Walsh.
No, it was the
Shadow Riders.
I forget I'll have to look it up. But anyway, but it was a great Western series. Him and Sam Elliott played really well together. And you could kind of see like they had a sort of a similarity in their kind of laid back attitudes and stuff. You could kind of picture they were actually brothers in that. But he's always been really down to earth. He's not one of these guys that gets goes sticking his opinion out there and concerned about his image and stuff like that. He's always been pretty much what you see is what you get, like an honest depiction of a person, not just some kind of like fake ass, bullshit that like most of these people do.
Top on Rumble. If anyone's on Rumble, you are more than welcome to chime in the chats here, because I know some people don't really chime in the chats. But Top in Down Under said, Tom Selleck, I like his support for the Second Amendment, which is very true.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, what are your thoughts on a positive thought on Tom Selleck?
Positive thoughts on Tom Selleck. Well, I mean, God, he was good in Mr. Baseball. Loved him in Mr. Baseball. That was an awesome movie. No, he's nice to the little guy out there. He's a true patriot. And well, like Andy said, God, he made mustaches cool, man. So he did. That stash. What a great stash.
I can't compete to him. I like my stash, but God. Goatfather, what are some positive thoughts on?
Oh man, at first I was gonna do this.
I don't give a shit.
But then I got a message that essentially says that he pulled a Keanu Reeves. They believe it's on Magnum PI, where he gifted some of the staff and stars motorcycles and automobiles.
I do remember that.
Nice.
I do. To me, Tom Selleck is the dad I never had. I like him in Blue Bloods. It's the stash. That's iconic. I don't think I've ever seen him without the mustache. He embodies what a dad is, a very masculine dad who has patience but also emotions with kids, and he portrays it in everything. And I know a buddy of mine that has worked on a show on Blue Bloods, and he's like he's the coolest dude ever. So it's kind of cool to actually hear from people that actually say he's actually what you see on TV or in the movies is what you get, and it's nice to know someone of him it's cool. I love the fact that he's a very patriotic Christian guy. He's quiet. That's the thing I always say. It's when celebrities don't talk about a lot of things, their head is on right. Like with Mel Gibson, he doesn't really talk a lot about things, political things or anything of the sort. And because he's like, I know what's going on and I'm quiet, and he has his head on right, and he's crazy, and I love him for that. And Tom Selleck, Blue Bloods is probably one of my favorite shows. I don't like to binge watch it as much. I'll do a few episodes and I'll just wait because I like that show so much. If anyone hasn't, go watch it. It's such a good show. It's still going on, like 15, 16 seasons or something. But wow. Tom Selleck is watching him in Magnum PI with his shorts, his Ferrari, his mustache. It's the ladies. It's one of those things where I think every one of us can all agree we wish we were him or we had a dad like him, because he was cool, and he still plays cool, and he's a big dude from what I've heard, and he embodies the calm, collective dad type. And when shit hits the fan, he'll show like, all right, cool, it's business time. So I like it. It's the whole adopt me, the Rancor Steve adopt me letters. It came from a dream with Tom Selleck of me writing a letter to Tom Selleck. And I told Gary, I was like, what if we did, because I'm actually am adopted. And a lot of people that watch those videos were like, well, I don't know if that's real. Like, you're making fun. And I actually asked my mom, I was like, hey, are you okay with me poking fun of adoption and in a fun way? And if she said no, we wouldn't have done the adoption letters. And she said, yeah, go for it. I was like, all right, cool. Because I told her how to do something about Tom Selleck. So if you're watching Tom Selleck for some random reason, adopt me.
So I have another reason. I have another reason to love Tom Selleck. Is he will never he makes it make sure that you will never be number one on guys and wearing short shorts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Er,
you got a point. Yeah.
yeah. Uh-huh.
True.
That's very true. It's so when we did the adoption letter thing, I wanted to respect Tom Selleck because he's always growing up, he's always been the father figure that I've always wanted. I never got it. And I've got it through bits and parts from some stepdads that I've had growing up. But for some reason, Tom Selleck is the guy I think every man should follow because he has this personality, this charisma, this persona that just fumes masculine men. And by just his look, I've watched I was looking it up right now, the Jesse Stone films that he was
Yeah,
doing, the series.
they're on Prime, and if you
They're really
definitely watch them.
super low budget, but really fun, like detective type movies. And just if you want to like go and watch him in a movie, go watch the Jesse Stone movies. They're fun. Like there's nothing bad I could say about him at all. On that note,
I want to add one more thing that most people may not know about Tom Selleck is the number of ad council commercials he has done about fatherhood.
mm-hmm.
He has done so
Yeah.
many of those through the years. You can almost routinely hear his voice doing them.
Yeah.
And then Meet the Robinsons.
Oh yeah. So the next one, ooh, I like this one. A lot of you guys will appreciate this one. It's Taylor Sheridan. Now, does anybody know who Taylor Sheridan is? You could raise your hand and say, I don't know who he is.
I don't know who he is.
So he's the guy who created Yellowstone.
Okay.
Any of you guys know what Yellowstone is?
Well, I know Yellowstone, yeah.
83.
The National Park.
1923.
Yeah.
Something like that? Yeah. We'll go with Andy. What are some positive thoughts on Taylor Sheridan?
He can ride a horse really well.
No, yeah, that is true.
That's my number one thing. He's got a really good vision for what he wants to put on the screen, and he follows through with it. From what I understand, he's a little bit of a perfectionist and stuff, which is fine because if it's coming out, the product is coming out perfect or damn near perfect, then you're on the right track. So that's a good thing. And I think his best thing that he's giving us now is he's showing Hollywood how to do things right if they're smart enough to listen.
Mm-hmm. Jeff, what are some positive things about Taylor Sheridan?
He appeared on Star Trek Enterprise. That's all I got.
He did.
That's a positive.
He did.
Ooh, you skirted that by a little hair. You skirted that.
He did. I was waiting for someone to do it. Mike, what are some positive things about Taylor Sheridan?
Let's see.
You're looking him up, aren't you?
I am looking them up because Taylor Sheridan has written several films, including the screenplay for Sicario in 1915, for which he was nominated for the Watchers Guild of America Award for Best Original Screenplay. There we go. So that's what I like about him.
I love the fact that you're looking it up and we can all tell you're looking him up, which is cool. Like there's some names some people may not know.
Yeah. Sicario was a good movie.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Steve Forshing is my spirit animal. I've even got Steve glasses.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, he does.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Hands up, don't shoot.
No, just do the little head shake.
There you go. Go Father. Anything positive? Well, did you say anything positive, Vincent?
No.
Besides the glasses?
I'll say he's made some entertainment properties that people seem to enjoy very much, and that's why, yeah. Because I did not know who that was when you mentioned his name, and I don't watch Yellowstone, but I guess I'm about to be ripped up in chat for not watching it, so I guess I'll put it in my queue tonight.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's okay if you don't. We forgive you.
For now.
We forgive. For now. We'll forgive, but we don't forget.
This is what it should be.
Goat Father, anything you positive that you want to say about Taylor Sheridan?
Don't really know who he is, so not really.
I just pointed it. I read it to you.
Oh, I know. I'm working, believe it or not, while you were reading that.
You
I'm zoned
Philistine!
out.
He
So what I'm doing behind the scenes here, if you pick somebody that I really know or I'm interested in or I have experience with, I'll do it. But for now, I'm actually working on something for you guys behind the scenes that'll be used on the show tonight.
Uh-oh.
Ooh. One of the things that I like about Taylor Sheridan is he doesn't give a fuck about the woke. He doesn't. His shows I don't want to get too much into his shows, but his background in life is very much conservative. Now he's mocked conservatives here and there, but I think he's a closet conservative, or at least a constitutionalist in my eyes. And other than that, he knows what people like to watch. But just hearing how he lives his life as pretty much as a rancher and a cowboy, it draw me more to him as like, wow, like you don't care what people say. Like you just do what you're really passionate about. And I think a lot of guys need to know, like, if you're passionate about something, just do it and it'll make you grow a lot more. And when Taylor Sheridan's like, you know what, I don't give two shits about you guys. I'm just gonna do what I like to do. And he's one hell of a writer and one hell of a creator of a lot of things. And he's built an empire with Paramount for sure. And I will say this one thing, and we'll get to the next name, is Kurtzman only got, I'm not going to say the name, but Kurtzman got $25 million from CBS. Taylor Sheridan got $200 million from Paramount Plus to make anything he wants because he knows what people like. And just seeing what he does, it's like, oh, dude, you nailed it with Yellowstone. You nailed it with every single thing you've done. And I think he's doing about like 15 shows on Paramount. I'm like, God, dude, you're awesome. But we'll get to I got to reach for the hat. We might get through all the names. I got to come up with the names. All right. The next one is, Sean Connery.
Ooh.
Now, you guys know who if no one knows who Sean Connery is on the panel, we got some questions that we're going to need.
He was a championship bodybuilder.
He was.
Yeah,
He was.
That's right.
He was. That's, not many people actually know about that.
Yeah. He also did Shakespeare back in the early 60s, way before his Bond days.
I didn't know that.
No, there's a channel on YouTube called the Shakespeare Network, and they tend to download a lot of older stuff. Not so much like Olivier and all this stuff, but the BBC back in the early 60s, they used to do a lot of they do like 2 Shakespeare shows or plays every month, and he's in Macbeth. They just downloaded Henry IV 2 days ago, and I was getting ready to watch it after we got done with this. But yeah, and he's actually very good, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Andy.
Well, you see, Sean Connery is the epitome of manliness.
Yes.
I mean, look, here's a guy who was like a huge sex symbol, and started losing his hair and could not give two shits. He didn't do the toupee or anything like that. He just and was still so confident and so masculine that women still threw themselves at him. And he was completely unapologetic to Barbara Walters when she tried to corner him about his
The
take on
smack in the mouth.
smack in the woman when she needed it.
Schmuck in the mouth.
Because hey, look, sometimes and I mean he had a point. Not that I've ever hit a woman. Well, once when she pulled a knife on me, but this is a thing where if you're you should treat somebody knowing that this person could hurt me. So it's like guys, you're not going to walk up to some 6'8" monstrosity and call him a douchebag unless you're feeling suicidal, because we know we're probably going to get wrapped in the mouth. So well, you should have the same courtesy if you're, especially because most men could but won't, absolutely won't. But you should treat them like they could and appreciate the fact that they don't. I mean, and Sean Connery kind of pointed that out. And of course, Barbara Walters was she did not like any of that. But I think if you mutually respect each other, and although it's funny though, I've never been in a relationship where a woman thought nothing and turn around and hitting me and punching me. Not that it hurt, but it was I don't do that to you. Anyway, Sean Connery.
Yeah. Mike, what are some positive things about Sean Connery?
Well, I mean, I got to point out, first of all, that he was knighted, so it would be Sir Sean Connery.
Yes.
As
Sorry,
well.
Sir
Sean Connery. I mean, the guy just oozed charisma and masculinity, and not just because of the Bond movies, but pretty much in every role he played. I mean, God, what kind of guy does it take to wear that thin off with that outfit
From Zardoz, the diaper.
The diaper and
My Halloween costume.
Dear God, you have to be so secure in your manhood to want to wear something like that and, well, not feel ashamed of it. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, and you know what? And the only man that would dare slap Indiana Jones, tell him to watch his mouth.
You're right.
Because
That's
that's
for blasphemy.
That's for blasphemy.
I forgot he does that.
Yep, that's right. The
She
only one.
talks in her sleep.
That's right. That's right. That too. Yep. And the only actor that could successfully play a Russian captain submarine.
Don't get me started. We can do an entire episode of Red October quotes.
He does a Russian accent with a Scottish accent.
That's right.
He's the only person to get away with it.
Combat vessel.
You're okay with it. You're okay with it.
Exactly.
Putin's probably that's
right. It's it doesn't sound quite Russian. Doesn't matter. Sean Connery. So, totally get away with it. So, with everything that he's played, I mean, from James Bond from 1962 to 71. And I mean, he's won Best Actor awards, Academy Awards here and there, British Academy Film Awards, Golden Globe Awards. I mean, he didn't care what anybody said. He just played the part, and he played it no matter what it was. He played it brilliantly.
Oh yeah.
So,
Goatfather, anything you want to say?
Believe it or not, well, first of all, yes, Red October. Not even going to question the accent. He was great in there.
Yep.
So anyway, when you said that name, it took attention away from what I was doing because, believe it or not, I have something for this. So it's sort of a two-parter. So I personally know somebody that back then, I forget what years, was kind of the mid-range of filming for him. This individual knew Sean Connery and became friends with him while he was helping out.
Wow.
And they actually became on a first name basis where Sean Connery would intentionally come to the office, say hi to him, and if he wasn't immediately there, would request him by name so he could talk to him. And I guess it sounds like behind the scenes, he liked to crack jokes and just have a good time. So it sounds like he's actually a really friendly guy. I've heard this story before too, but he legitimately sounds like he's a guy where, unlike the Hollywood snobs, or don't look at him, don't talk to him, don't do this, don't do that, bring him the special blah 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 drink. He doesn't do that. He's just a down to earth person, and that sounds like he would be absolutely pleasant to work with, a real gentleman. So if he did get knighted, which I think I heard of that, sounds like he deserved it.
Yep.
As I
Well, she
step
would have
away from
had to
it
tell the
quick.
queen,
It's
That's
if
right.
I
That's
ever
the
get
other thing.
knighted, what?
you're not British. It won't happen.
No, that's true. But also running for what was it? It wasn't the Scottish Labour Party, but it was something else about Scotland having their own independence from the rest of England too. So because well, I mean, Scottish, right? Born and raised. So looking for Scottish
But
independence.
let's say an American can get knighted. I'd be Sir Rancor Steve. That's kind of cool. Stupid sounding as I say it, but it's kind of cool. Whatever. But the thing about Sean Connery, I just actually watched The Rock last week, and the thing about Sean Connery is he's cool, dude. Like he's the type of guy you want to go hang out with, whether it's at a bar or have a cup of tea or just chill and just hear what he has to say. And the way he talks, I'm like, oh man. My favorite Sean Connery movie is Goldfinger. And it's I don't know, something about him. It's mesmerizing. He's just cool. And he tells you what it's like, and he's like, yeah. And I love when he tells I'll smack a woman to Barbara Walter. I'm like, that's cool. And I know on Rumble, Top and Down Under said he could have had Barbara Walter in a heartbeat if he wanted to. He so could. Like he could have had any woman. And he was the only guy that could pull off really short swimsuits and whatever bikini design in that movie he was in. He could have pulled it off.
And in Goldfinger, he's walking around the pool in that little Terry swimsuit thing.
Oh,
or when
and
he has the lady.
And he also gets away playing the Scottish. He also gets away playing the Spanish guy.
Yeah.
In Highlander. Yes.
Well, I like the fact
with
that when
Scottish accent
in Goldfinger, the lady's walking by, and he's like slaps her on the butt, and I'm like, no one else can do that but him.
He's like, go
We're
away.
Gonna get to one more name.
That's right.
I gotta come. If anyone has any names they want to put in the hat, let me know. You can DM me or email me. Even in the panel, if you guys want to give a name, please. We're gonna here we go. Ooh. This is gonna be interesting. Tom Cruise. Mike, what's a positive thing about Tom Cruise?
Tom Cruise is a total 100% perfectionist when it comes to doing movies. He is probably the last action hero in Hollywood. He wants a movie done right. Yeah, his ego might get in the way at times, making it so it's done, the way he wants it. But then again, he knows what works, and it seems like almost every movie that he's done is a hit, no matter what.
Vincent.
There's nothing you can really say about him that hasn't been said already. Like, he's probably the last what you would call movie star. You have actors nowadays, actors and actresses, they perform and do that, but just having somebody, you know, um, get the audience in simply by virtue of his name, which is what stars used to do back in the day. Ooh, Clark Gable, ooh, Cary Grant. Yeah, the movie could be complete shit, but it would still make $1 million because they were in it. And
Yeah.
that's how it is with Tom Cruise, except most of his movies, like you said, aren't shit. A lot of them are well made, and especially with Top Gun Maverick, I thought it was going to be a pile of shit. I saw it, I was blown away. I was like, damn, this is actually a good movie. I didn't think I was going to like it, but I did. I enjoyed it very much.
Yeah. Go Father. Anything you want to say about Tom Cruise? TC.
Well, the messages come in. I love the timing on some of these. So basically, it looks like he signs autographs for people and takes photos with them without charging for it at all, which
That's
is
cool.
pretty darn cool.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Especially
but
these days.
I gotta give him, like you said, the perfectionist. And then isn't there the fact that in that, what was it? It was Mission Impossible, right? Where he was holding on to that plane and he was actually doing that without a parachute?
Yeah, he was strapped to the back of the. I don't know what plane it was, but he was holding
It
on
was
to the door.
a
He was strapped, of course.
C-130?
But no.
No, it was one of those
was
big darn planes.
Yeah.
Mm.
But Andy, anything positive that you want to say about Tom Cruise?
He's got balls.
You're not wrong.
I anybody that does some of the shit that he does, like you got to be pretty gutsy, and I applaud him for that. He's crazy. He's that Scientology thing I don't get. I mean, somebody says like they want to make their own religion to make a lot of money, and it does it, and you buy into it. Something about that is a little strange. Yeah, he's got guts. I mean, and he perfects his craft, and that's something. If you're going to do something, you should do it right, and give it 100%, or else why bother?
Yeah. One of the things about Tom Cruise is he is the maverick of film. I went to go see Top Gun Maverick with Gary, and I've seen the movie about, I think, 65 times now. And I adore Top Gun Maverick. I think it's probably the greatest movie ever made in the last, like, probably 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
And he said, you have an obsession. I was like, no, I want to study this movie. And the thing about Tom Cruise is he's such a perfectionist that he cares about what we want to see. And he may be a loony and kooky and everything, and maybe a Scientology, which is even kookier. But the fact that he will work hard for something for other people to enjoy, which shows way more than anything, because a lot of guys, we want to do a lot of things to make us look good. He's in it for the fans. He wants to make something good for us to enjoy, and he will, if he has to drive a dirt bike or a motorcycle off a fucking cliff to make us feel like we're part of something, then I mean, go do it, you crazy loony bin. But Tom Cruise, something about him, he shows he cares about people. He cares about other people, and he's going to risk his life doing it. Whether it's a crazy stunt for us to enjoy, he's going to do it because he cares about it. He has the same mentality as Keanu Reeves, because I don't know if we've done his name in Tip of the Hat yet, but I know he's in there. And like Keanu Reeves, they both really care about movies and they care about the fans, and they won't do anything unless it's good for the fans. Unless you can already do the Matrix 4. That's a whole nother story. But
Yeah.
other than that, it's Tom Cruise he has that persona of I know what I want to do and I'm going to achieve it. And I think a lot of guys need to hone in on that. It's what are your goals? What are your life achievements that you want to accomplish? Go do them. Whether they're crazy as Get Out or they're not life and death, but just that's going to risk a lot. Like if you know, hey, if I work at this, I'm going to achieve something great. Whether it's small or big, it doesn't matter. As long as guys actually achieve their goals in life, they're going to accomplish something. They're going to feel like, hey, I can overcome Mount Everest. And I think that's what even men need to understand that too. Like I think a lot of us on the panel need to know, like, if we achieve what we love to do, like if we can accomplish that, dude, we can do anything. Like it's nothing's gonna stop us. But yeah. On that note, we're gonna get into the chat right quick, even on Rumble or on YouTube. So the Goat Fathers, you have any comments?
Looks like SP4H is probably talking about Tom Cruise on that one.
He's an oddball, but it's 100. Yep.
That's true. I mean, what was the last time? When was the last time, if ever, you saw an actor or actress send a personal message before the movie actually started?
You know, I
Like
guess
Tom
he's
Cruise.
missing an opportunity. Tom Cruise should put on the Deadpool suit, and when he drives something off a cliff or does something really insane, they should film him saying maximum effort. That would be hilarious.
That'd be awesome.
Let's see what else we got going on here. Oh, no. Looks like Ordnance Packard said it's a great show. Have a stupid early day tomorrow, which sucks. So good night, Ordnance Packard. Have a great night, everybody.
Ordy is awesome.
Yeah.
He is the man.
Gotta have him on again.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what else we got here. Looks like a good amount of people know exactly about Tom Cruise. Dang. So many comments on it. No particular questions. Anybody want me to pick one of them in particular? Or
let's
follow your heart.
Oh, actually, this is a good one.
The most important attitude change men need to have is to go from I can't do that or that's not possible to what do I have to do to achieve that? Then do it. Absolutely.
Okay. That goes kind of back to one of the pieces of machinery that I got. So the first of its generation, I will say, not really generation, but generation of ownership. It's expensive to operate, but it's entirely worth it in the long run, especially with the minimum amount of being involved with it. I just tell it what to do and it's done. But the cost is something where it's like, I can't really do that. So I found a way. I looked around and just kept scouring the internet. Then I found another machine that is much cheaper to operate, but it requires some calibration where you have to babysit it. But once it's calibrated, it's good to go. But it is a fraction of the price to operate. So sometimes you just got to start trying to thinking outside the box. How can I do the thing I want to do? If I can't do it, how can I do it?
Yeah.
That's essentially it. If it's one thing about men, especially men, because we're more hands-on and crafty with certain things, women are great at crafting in general, but when it comes to doing things, there's a reason why they say if it works, it ain't stupid, because it's a guy thing. We'll find almost any way to make something work, and as long as it works, it's not stupid. So good feedback. Welcome back, Steve.
Oh, it's good to be back.
Is it?
I
Is it
don't know
really?
why that's funny, but that was funny. On Rumble, Top and Down Under, he said, I don't charge people for my autographs and pictures, whether most of the responses are usually, I can't read his handwriting and get the hell out of our camera shot. I'm a man of the people. All right. So since he said that, the camera thing, so when I go to theme parks, or which is rare, I never go. I think on my 6th year anniversary, I took my wife to Universal Studios. Any trail or tourist taking a selfie, I like to put my head right at the corner, and I got really good at this, where my head looks like it's just floating, and they take a picture. So there's probably about a couple thousand people that they have a selfie with my head in there, and they have no idea who I am. They think I'm a part of the group. I would do that at the lodge too. I just put my head in between two guys' shoulders because I'm really short. So I stand behind two tall people. It looks like a floating head, and it creeps people out. It's the same when like this chick at the airport asked me if I was Jason Statham. I said no, and she was dead set that I was. And I was like, ma'am, I'm like 30, 40 years younger than Jason Statham. I'm probably like maybe 20 years younger than him. And she's like, no, you are Jason Statham. And she was dead set. She's like, can I have a selfie with you? I took the selfie. I was like, she was like determined that like I was Jason Statham. I was even pulling up pictures like, look, do I look like him? She's like, that's just makeup. And I was like, wow, you're probably the dumbest chick, or you're just dumb.
Persistent.
I don't know. Yeah. And she,
Probably.
because she even said, she goes, that's just a Southern accent doing a British accent. And I was like, wow, you are okay.
Sure.
So every time like I think about that, I was like, what if Jason Statham is behind me taking the picture? And she's like, Jason Statham takes the picture, and he's like, who are you? And I was like, I didn't do anything. Don't kick my butt. Because he would kick my butt. On that beautiful note, we're gonna go around the table, and we're gonna, if you want to do a plug, you can. We highly recommend it, because here on Man-O-Rama, we like to support everyone on the show, and not just our show, but everyone else's show in any way possible. Mike, is there anything else anything you want to plug?
Yes, I will plug in right now. And yeah, just to promote my channel, I am at the Comic Relief Crusader channel. So every Tuesday we have Titillating Tuesdays, where we talk about anything and everything under the sun, and inviting a few people that want to come on and just leave it open for everybody to chat and get on the panel and talk about whatever it is that we talk about. And stay tuned for more news and reviews and criticisms and stuff like that, and try to find a solution on how we can make the world a better place if we can. So also, on top of that, you can also find me on Rumble. I am there as well, sharing what I share over there as well. Please follow me there. Also on Rumble, and yeah, we will see you over there on the channel on Titillating Tuesdays and everywhere else.
Nice. Andy, anything you want to plug?
No, I got Laboratory Mayhem, which someday I'll do another video, because I should. Got the new Doomcock helmet there. Other than that, nah. Check us out Wednesday night on Pop Culture Breakdown on Doomcock's channel, where we'll talk about hopefully something good that's coming out.
I noticed that what you did there.
I
Didn't
don't
you guys
know.
talk about what was
Very
it, Iron
nice.
Giant?
Iron
Yes.
Giant,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
okay,
almost-
that was a brilliant move. And if I may suggest, you guys obviously can just pick or whatever, but I would suggest trying Titan AE if you're going to watch Iron Giant.
Are you trying to pull on my emotions here, man?
What, did you see it?
Yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah, exactly. That movie, I want to say, was criminally underrated and not watched as much as
Yeah.
it should be. It could have had like a whole universe of stuff. It just didn't make the amount of people in seats essentially to keep it going. But I thought it was one of the best movies that ever came out around that time. Even the animation style was great. So maybe consider that on the show, or tell whoever, hey, maybe we should try doing this one.
Maybe. I actually almost
It
teared
was a
up
good
giving
movie.
a review of Iron Giant. Like, that's an emotional movie for me. I love that movie. If anyone who hasn't
Yeah.
seen Iron Giant, go watch that movie. It's such a good. I didn't know fully
Totally.
that Joe Johnston, one of my favorite directors, actually did. I knew he had his hand in the movie. I didn't know he had a big impact on it. Vincent, anything else you want to plug?
No, other than if you'd like to follow me on Twitter, I'm at YesThatVCharles. And follow me, get some recipes, learn about wine, talk stupid shit, memes, GIFs, shit posting. I'm all in.
That's a good thing you're just doing one and not, PBR, because otherwise you'd probably end up on an episode of Cops.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? And we're banned from YouTube.
There's a special edition of the Iron Giant?
Yes, there is.
Yeah, there is.
It's called the Signature Edition. It's only one
Yes.
scene, I think. Right, Andy?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure it's only one scene. Yeah.
And it's such
I
a
wish they
good
would
one. I
put
was
the
like,
dream sequence in there. God, that would have been so awesome to see.
well, it's pretty fucking dark, dude.
Yeah,
It's
I know,
a dark
but it would
scene.
still be
For a
awesome.
kid,
Very
like,
important, but very important.
it is. But I
Yeah.
think if you're a kid watching that movie and you see that scene, you're like, what? But as you get
Yeah.
older, I think you're gonna
It
understand
has
it more.
it has a much bigger impact when you get older.
Yes.
Yeah,
A
it
much
does.
bigger emotional impact. It hits you a
Yeah.
lot
Yeah.
harder.
More
My
than
son loved that
Superman?
movie. Yes.
Yeah.
I would say it hits me almost as emotionally as Exorcist 3, but no movie does that. I'm sorry, that's my favorite movie.
They should have made
Really?
a continuation of that.
Go Father.
Like,
Anything you want to
ever
plug?
filmed.
Well, I mean, I know some people are interested, but they haven't sent any messages. If you're thinking of considering like a custom decal, or especially if you want something printed on it, people can start messaging me on Twitter there. Other than that, in the background, I'm almost done rendering the actual plugs that will be in an official graphic, which I don't know why I haven't done sooner. So we got
So-
that going on.
Hurry up and
on
get to it.
GoFathers graphics and actually decals, he's done this for me, and it's a pretty cool Rancor Steve decal, and he does other things. And if you guys,
hold that back
I
up.
want to.
Why does it look a little beat up? What happened?
It's been on the desk, man. This is the last one I have.
The
Yeah,
rest are on
come on,
the
man.
laptop.
It's
His
you know,
laptop
Come on.
covered them.
it's still
Yeah.
it works. It's just a
Believe
little
it or
bent up.
not, if he
Come
went
on,
to
man.
adhere
Lighten
that
up.
onto a surface and he did it exactly as you're supposed to apply them, you wouldn't know that it's all crinkled up on his desk. It would actually come out
Yeah.
perfectly once you take it off of that material. Basically, as long as it's not physically damaged and you put it on correctly, it's going to look still brand new no matter what.
Oh yeah. So if anybody
Yep.
ever wants any custom decals of what they like, go to GoFather on Twitter and DM him and talk to him. He's probably one of the best people I know who does decals. He's done quite a bit for me, and he makes some really cool stuff. So if you want to put your Twitter in there, Goat Father, go for it, and yeah, support Goat Father and what he does. He's pretty cool about it. If
Yeah, I'm not kidding though. When I say, because first I can do multiple colors and layers, putting them together for the decals. But now that I have the new machine, I can actually take whatever you want and print it and then sublimate that onto your decal. So again, it becomes permanent. It won't run when you do, like if you have it in the rain or whatever. Even then, if I'm going to sublimate a decal for you, I'm probably going to end up putting a transparent layer on top as well, just to reduce the chance of it being damaged. Like if you're putting it on a Jeep or something and you're climbing rocks and you're throwing dirt, that transparent layer is going to take all of the damage and you can just wipe it off or use like a very damp rag. So depending on what somebody wants, one, it's the permanent material. It's not coming off unless you want to take paint off too. Maybe. Might happen, the cars might not. But either way, it's meant to stay on, be permanent. I could put the ink on it, or I can just make you one color or multicolor cuts. As long as it can be assembled with decent ease, then I don't mind doing it at all. Carla Burton, do you have pics on Twitter of what you do? At the moment, I do not. If you want, send me a message of something you're interested in. I can probably show you what it will look like. That, or I'll just print and sublimate something randomly, and I'll put it on Twitter as a general example of the capabilities of the machine itself as well as the printer. So
Go, what you really ought to do is that would work really well with an Instagram account.
Yeah.
God, Instagram.
Yep.
Oh man, Instagram. That's a meta product.
I know, but it has a ton of traffic on it.
I'll set up your I'll set up your Instagram, and I'll give you everything. Don't worry about it. I'll set up your Instagram so you can actually post things. So I'll do that tonight. One of my favorite decals of the Goat Father is my Disney Groomers decal. We can't get copyright because we know how to work it. That was my favorite. I know he sent a bunch of those to me, and I've been handing those out. My stepdad loves it. He's like, "You got more of those?" It's like, "Yeah, I got more of those." And yeah, he makes really good stuff. I'm not gonna lie. For me, this will be the last Thursday that Man-O-Rama will be on YouTube. And for specific reasons why is because we've been suppressed and the show hasn't been growing on YouTube at all. It's slowly going down and down and down. There's no growth, there's no likes, there's no shares or anything. We did I think this is the third stream on Rumble. Everything is going better on Rumble. So starting next week, all Man-O-Rama shows are going to be on Rumble, and we will post. I will post the links to the shows for Rumble, and I know Goat Father will do the same thing, and everyone else in the Man-O-Rama crew will do the same thing. Also, we want to see the show get to grow and to become something big. And for the YouTube channel, I've decided I'm going to be working on a one-on-one interview with me and one other person, whoever it is, and we just have a conversation. I have a sports show that's going to be coming on this channel called Man-O-Rama. I'm in the works of doing that. And it's just a bunch of guys talking about sports, whatever it is. So if you know anyone who likes sports that want to just hang out and chill and hear a bunch of guys talk about sports, whatever it is, like, the Celtics going to the semifinals, like, hey, we'll talk about it. And yeah, so Man-O-Rama is the main focus for this channel, and Rumble is becoming more of the best place for that. So starting next week, we'll be strictly on Rumble, and you can find us. If not, set up an account or just watch us, support us in any way possible. We love you guys. We love everyone in the chat. I love everyone who comes on the panel. Mike, Andy, Vincent, Jeff, everyone, even the special guests that we come on. We're going to do a lot more crazier things on Rumble. Trust me, it's going to get a lot better. You guys have a good weekend, and you guys have a blast. See you guys. Ciao.
Go to Rumble.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Rumble. Yeah.
Brother, if you don't